What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Real Word Podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit up those links down below. And now we can get into the episode. It is July 10th, 2020. It is 7/10, aka Dabs Day, aka Oil Day. So shout out to all the stoners out there who know what's up. Shout out to all the, weed smokers, all the people who enjoy cannabis, concentrates, any form of it. This is like another 420, but for concentrate use, wax, dabs, things like that. So because it is that day, it is 7/10, all we're gonna be doing is smoking on a couple different concentrates. One I did try last night, it was the indica, so we'll try that second, but I also have this one that I've never tried yet. It's this like lemon cherry gelato sugar, and I feel like that would be a little bit more of a hybrid, so we'll start with that one here in a couple of minutes, and that'll be my first ever try of that kind and this brand as well, which is like Cali Blaze or something like that, so that'll be cool. But yeah, man, it's 7/10. Gotta love it. I've been, celebrating 7/10 now for a few years. Like I said, it's just like another 420. 420 is, for weed, the bud, just getting really high, whatever. And this is just that, but for concentrate, for oil, for wax, And I like it. It just, it's not like I will smoke any more or less today than normal. I'll probably just stick to concentrates for the most part today since I got some last night, but I'm not gonna like overdo it or anything like that. It's just another day to kind of take note of, you know what I mean? And like if you celebrate 420, this is another day to kind of celebrate the weed and cannabis and, that whole stuff. So let's get into some of this. Yeah. Okay, so Zach, first, go to Instagram at @the_No_World_Order podcast. Check out our latest IGTV. Go give us a follow there. You could check us out live, usually on Tuesdays or Thursdays at 2:30. I think this next Tuesday we're gonna have to not do it, but Zach is actually coming over this morning, and we're gonna do like a regular episode, not an Instagram live episode, and that should be posted on Tuesday. So we'll see about that. But anyway, a few days back, Zach tagged me an Instagram of this page called Bruh Meets World, and I was like, what is this? This is super funny. But it was like this meme, and it was like equating to Boy Meets World cast members and their role of what it would be in the Black Lives Matter movement, or like the whole situation going on today, and like each of their descriptions was just so perfect. I was like, this is hilarious. So I kept checking out that page a little bit, and then realized that they have a podcast. It's like a Boy Meets World like fan podcast, and they go episode by episode, breaking it down, giving their thoughts, their grade, their what Feeney taught us or whatever. It's like whatever the message of the show is of that episode. And yeah, man, this is like my new favorite podcast. It definitely breaks up the conspiracy stuff, the comedy stuff. This is just super fun, lighthearted, still teaches you something because of the messages in Boy Meets World. And yeah, Boy Meets World has just always been like my favorite show. I was always, didn't always wonder, oh, where's the Boy Meets World podcast? But it's like, that was always a thing, man. Like, man, somebody needs to kind of do that. Or like, it was kind of always a thought in my background here or there, like, oh, it'd be cool if somebody did a Boy Meets World thing. And come to find out, there are people who do it. I just never really looked for it. But yeah, I listened to the first like 3 or 4. I got through the fourth episode last night of the podcast. And yeah, man, shout those guys out because that's a super fun thing. They're still going from what it sounds like because Boy Meets World, is a very long series. I don't know how they break up their season, if they take a little break in between seasons or whatever, but I think this is stemming from 2017, so they got at least 3 years in so far, so that's pretty awesome. I got a lot to kind of catch up, but that is like my new favorite podcast for sure, because that just is my favorite show. It's interesting to, hear other people be like as big, if not bigger fans of the show than I am. Like they know all the ins and outs, all the episode titles and all of that. I'm not like that. I don't know air dates. I don't know anything like that, but it's just my favorite show. The messages are always good. It doesn't matter what episode it really is. I can, submerge myself in it and just kind of get lost and find a message. And I usually, I've seen it so many times, but I'll usually see something that I never caught before, or, I'll hear a joke differently or something like that. So I love it. And yeah, I'm definitely going to be, keeping my eye out on this podcast for time to come, because they have a lot to it. There's a lot of content. There's a lot of backlog, and that's what's cool, to not be waiting for something. Like, that's always frustrating. It's like a TV show or a movie, whatever. You always gotta wait. You gotta wait for it. So that's what's cool when there's this, you're kind of late to something, and there's just all this backlog and content that you can go back and kind of catch up on. So that's what's cool. That's where I'm at. So shout out those guys. Go check it out, bruh. BRUH meets World. And from their own, words, they're about my age from what it sounds like. They're like around their 30s, but it comes from a black perspective. Like they're both black who do the Bruh Meets World. But it just shows, like, just because you're black doesn't, and Boy Meets World being a very white show, just because that's the case doesn't mean you can't find a connection to it. Like one of the guys on the podcast like really connects to Corey, and just a bunch of similarities to it. And then yeah, they all have their connections to it, and just because it's a white show doesn't mean it really was for everybody. Honestly, they're like, everybody could take something from Boy Meets World, and that's what's just so awesome about the show, honestly. So let's get into this. It's gonna be that Cali Blaze, that lemon cherry gelato sugar. Here's the box. Big old box for just this little. I don't understand why they do this. Just for this little thing right here. Doesn't make sense to me. Damn, that smells good. Can't really see it there. Let me see. Hold on. A little bit better. There we go. Get a little bit better shot of that. Ooh, get this off. That little hair. All right, let's take this little dab. Looks like it's been past that 5 minutes for advertiser friendly. Even though I'm not anywhere close to that yet, but gotta keep it legit, All right, cheers. Oh man. Oh. Oh, jeez. Ooh. Damn. Ooh. Good dab, good dab. Happy 710, everybody. Wow. That was intense. I'm all sweaty now. Jeez. Whew. Don't take dabs like that too often. But it had been a couple of days. I did, like I said, I took a dab last night, and it did basically the same thing. But it had been maybe like a day and a half to 2 days since I had some concentrate, some dabs, some wax. And whenever I go a couple days without it, this is how it hits me. I just get that cough. That real body heat, start sweating. But it's all good. That head changes. Ooh, really nice. But yeah, man. So shout out Bruh Meets World. Shout out those guys. Go check it out. I'm listening to it on like the podcast app, just on my iPhone. Just typed in Bruh Meets World and just went to all episodes. Scrolled all the way down. Started at the first episode, and like I said, I'm on episode 4 now. I don't want to run through it super quick, so I'll probably just take it. Like do a couple episodes in one day, maybe skip a couple of days, and then listen to another couple episodes and skip a couple of days, few days, and another couple episodes. Just kind of stagger it out a little bit, just so I don't get all the way caught up in like, a month. But yeah, it's a fun podcast. Like I said, it's probably my new favorite podcast, at least for the moment. And how could it not? I mean, if Boy Meets World is like my favorite show ever, how could a podcast about it, and especially how they're doing it, it's just so well thought out and so well done. They're just taking it, just a really good breakdown, and yeah, how could you not love it if you enjoy Boy Meets World, and just having that different perspective on it, but they still love it, you know what I mean? And I do find that interesting because it is a, predominantly white show and catering to that type of lifestyle, but it is something that like any kid could learn from and take a message from, and it's, you know what I mean? Like there was definitely anybody could relate to it, honestly. But just with the characters, it was, a very predominantly white show. But I love the show, and I love the podcast, man. So go check those guys out again. I mean, I'm super late to them, you know what I mean? And I just found them because Zach sent me a meme, and I decided to like inquire about more about this page, and I was like, oh, this is a podcast thing. So I did message them like right away on Twitter or something. Yeah, I think it was Twitter. I was like, hey man, I just was introduced to your stuff. I just started. I love Boy Meets World. Just all that, and they responded like right away. So that's cool. Give them a shout out on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. They seem to be pretty active and engaging. And they said, oh, hit us up about any of the episodes or whatever. And yeah, so seems like they're willing to have a conversation, willing to talk, and like I said, have that engagement. So that's pretty cool. Shout out those guys. Yeah, that's it, man. I mean, no, I'm not, partnering with them, nothing like that. I'm just, like I said, I stumbled across them because of Zach, and now it's like my new favorite thing, and just gotta pass it along and give them a shout out. So shout out Bruh Meets World. Man, that dab's still getting to me. Ugh. So, um, I also got to give a shout out to my mom. Shout out my mom. She's on a little trip with her friend right now, just not too far away, but um she knows people, or she put the word out, I guess, that like I do window cleaning, and I don't know how people found out, but it's like people will call her business asking for window cleaning from me. Like, you know what I mean? So she's being like the middleman, and I guess somebody called yesterday looking for me, and she wasn't in the office, but she had her office administrator give the lady a call back and give her my number, so I have a window cleaning job to do tomorrow, and looks like it should be a pretty good sized job as well. It'd probably take a good probably 4 or 5 hours. Get there around 8, maybe finish around 1ish or so. Hopefully, maybe like ideally less time, but I don't really want it to go longer than that. That'd be a long day for working out in the sun like that, but we'll see how it goes. This is just gonna be me solo. My dad and brother are both working for their company, so I don't get any help, but it's all good. That just means I get all the reward, all the cash, so that's cool. Um, but yeah, I'm nervous about it. I'm excited about it, but I always like working with someone like on a house, having that partner there, but it's all good. I'll make it work. I know what I'm doing. It's just been a little while, but I know what I'm doing, so it'll be cool. It'll be good. But yeah, that's tomorrow morning. It's about probably 45, 50 minutes away, so gotta get up, no earlier than I normally do, but just a little nervous and, just things like that. But it's all good. It'll be worth it. I know I'll do a good job. I do good work, so that's what it is. Zach is coming by this morning in a little bit to do an episode. I think I mentioned that earlier already. But yeah, he's gonna be here around 8, I think, and yeah, we're just gonna do an episode on a couple different topics. And it's not gonna be on Instagram, it's just gonna be one of our regular ones. Like I said, that'll be uploaded most likely on Tuesday. So I'm excited about that. I gotta kind of finish this episode up here and then go do a little research and take just a couple notes and just be a little bit prepared for the conversation. I already know kind of generally what we're talking about. I mean, I know the topics and all that. I just need to go take a couple notes on some things. And just write some of my thoughts down so I can kind of keep them, condensed and concise and, at least have some sort of flow to it. So, that'll be cool. It's always fun when he comes by and we have these conversations just because our chemistry is just, I don't know, it clicks really well, and our conversations flow really well in person, and yeah, man, it's just it's a good thing to have, to be able to have these conversations with people, to be able to, go into deeper conversations with someone and not be like really judged or criticized, or you know if we disagree, like, you're not cut off. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool to have somebody like that. Because yeah, we don't agree on everything, but we do see things very similarly. And yeah, I just know with like other people, if you have these conversations and there's a disagreement, it's just immediately to the name calling, and I've been guilty of it. But it's immediately to the name calling and just like hate and just kind of, like I said, people will just block you out and just, want nothing to do with you just because you disagree on some subjects and stuff. So I don't know. Like I say, like I don't know how you grow as a country, as people, if you just block people out who disagree with you. Like, we need to have conversations and get through to the people that you think are not thinking properly or right. You know what I mean? Like, if you believe in your stance so, you know, so strongly, like, you should be out there having conversations with these people to like prove why you're right and like show how you're right and like live these things instead of just blocking these people out and showing this evil, negative, like awful side, and it's like, I don't know. And that goes to both sides. If anybody is like saying anybody should die or just because they like support someone, unless it's like pedophiles and stuff, and we all know what that's, I think we know it's more prominent in Hollywood and in the industry than, we were initially led to believe, but it sounds like it's really, an issue. So definitely not gonna protect those people, but it seems like the higher ups do protect those people. I don't know. It's just like I said, we just gotta come together and not have this division, because that just feels like we're being played right into what the higher ups want. They want this like friction between families, friends, like you don't know whose side to be on, like, you know what I mean? It just seems like they want that, and it seems like we're all being played into that. And here I am just calling everybody out on things, It doesn't matter what side you're on, I'll still call it out. I'll still be like just looking for the truth. That's it. That's all I really want to do, is just find the truth. And I will say that this was interesting because this goes into some of the topics that me and Zach are going to be getting into. I hadn't logged on to Hulu in a couple of weeks. I haven't been keeping up with wrestling. I haven't been like doing much of anything as far as like TV shows go. I've just been over it. But I decided to throw on Hulu yesterday. I was tired. I woke up super early. Well, not even super early. I just didn't get good sleep. I was just up every like hour and a half or so, just waking up, tossing and turning for a little bit, falling asleep, waking up like an hour later, hour and a half later. So it was bad. I was really tired. So I just threw on Hulu, just trying to like see what was up, see if a movie was on or something. And first thing that I see is the Mandela effect. I was like, what is this? And then like I take a picture of it on my phone, and then I send it to Zach. I was like, yo, this is so weird. Like I haven't thrown on Hulu in so long, and like this is one of the topics we're gonna be talking about, is the Mandela effect. And I just thought it was so strange because I took the picture of it, and it was like one of those main home screen things. Like it was boom, the first thing I saw right when I logged into Hulu, the Mandela effect. I was like, whoa, that's so weird. Took a picture of it, sent it to Zach. Look back up, dude, it was gone. I was like, what? Like I was like, dude, this is a trip. Like, was that a Mandela effect? You know what I mean? Like, did I see the Mandela effect and then now I'm not seeing? Like, it was just weird. Because I went through all the home screen pages up and down, couldn't find it again. I was like, that is so weird. But I searched for it and it was there. But I was like, that was super strange. Like, I wouldn't have ever known about it unless I caught it that 1 second, because I guess it just disappeared from the main home screen. Super strange. I decided to throw it on though because I was like, this is perfect. Like it's dealing with what we're gonna be talking about and stuff. And um, it was an interesting movie, man. Like it was immediately hitting on a bunch of the mainstream Mandela effects, you know. And we'll get into probably more of that this morning with Zach when we do the episode. But yeah, it was just hitting on all the like major ones. Just like within the first like 15 minutes, I was like, man, this is awesome. But it was definitely like a movie, you know what I mean? It wasn't documentary or anything like that. It was definitely a movie. But the fact that they like incorporated like YouTube videos and like real things that like I've seen and online, you know what I mean? And it's like this is a trip. Like they were definitely putting some stuff out there and um it basically was dealing with saying we were in a simulation, which is really interesting that they're putting that out there and how they have this quantum computer and yeah, it was an interesting movie. It wasn't like the best movie by any means, like, but it was interesting. It caught my attention, and it was enjoyable. I kind of was falling asleep during a couple of parts for probably like 10, 15 minutes, dozed off for a little bit. Because like I said, I was really tired and I was just trying to throw something on while I maybe took a nap or something. But I got kind of hooked in on this movie, but I did kind of doze off a little bit here or there. So I didn't quite get all of it, but from what I got, it's like, yeah, it was dealing with simulation and computer programming. And if you can, you know, figure out the code, you can change your reality or change the past or whatever. And it was just really interesting and, you know, an interesting concept. And then dealing with the Mandela effects and all of that. It was a good. I thought it was pretty good. It was entertaining, you know. Um, and I just thought it was super interesting how I hadn't been on Hulu in a couple of weeks, and then me and Zach a few days ago decided that we're gonna be talking about Mandela effects plus another topic, and then I log on to Hulu yesterday, and the first thing I see is about the Mandela effect, and it was a movie, so I was like, oh, I just, you know, I gotta watch it. So I did. And I thought it was pretty entertaining. So go check it out if you want. It is like a year old. It was from 2019, is what it said. But yeah, it was on Hulu. The Mandela Effect is the movie. So go check it out if you want. Should we get into another little dab? I don't know, man. Coughed my head off last time. Maybe just a little one of this Highland. What the hell was it? Like wedding cake batter? Yup, I got it right. Wedding cake batter from Highland. So we'll get into this. Man, oh man. So I am excited about tomorrow's fights. The UFC back again in Abu Dhabi, Yas Island, Fight Island, and got a pretty stacked card for the main card, man. I mean, we have 3 championship fights for the the 3 yeah, so we'll start. We got these are the 3 championship fights. We got Petre, whatever, however, Jan versus Jose Aldo for the bantamweight title, which is currently vacant thanks to Henry Cejudo. So that should be an interesting fight. Yeah, man, that really will be an interesting one. Will Aldo be able to get it done? People thought he won his last fight against Marlon. I believe that's who his last fight was, where there was kind of some controversy with it. Or will Jan be, that upcomer, that one who's been, grinding and trying to prove himself? Will he be the one to kind of get it done? It'll be interesting. And then we have the rematch for Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway for the featherweight title. And like I said, this is the rematch, and Max is trying to get his belt back. So this should be an interesting fight. Yeah. Hold on just real quick. Let me show you this wedding cake batter from Highland. It's pretty nice. So yeah, that should be a good rematch, I feel. Should be another good fight, just like I feel the first one was. Even though, Max lost it, I really like Max as a fighter, as a person. He's just that laid back, chill kind of guy from Hawaii. And but he took the loss like a champ, you know what I mean? He took it, he didn't he gave his respect. He knew what was up. It was all good. So this should be an interesting rematch, I feel. And then we have the main event. We got Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal for the welterweight title, not the BMF title. Masvidal's taken this fight on 6 days' notice, I believe, like under a week. And let's get into this dab real quick. Much better. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, and much better. Wasting a little bit of it. I could see it still smoking off, but a little bit worth it for that. Cough, man. Cough is rough sometimes. Like, that's such an easier cough right there. Whew. That's just like a whew. Not a dry cough. Hurting my throat. Anyway. This fight should be... Oh, man. I can see it going couple different ways, obviously, man. Like, I can see Masvidal pulling it out, like, kind of like he did with Askren, just pulling something crazy out within the first round. I could really see that. Just knocking Usman out, because his striking is there. And like I believe it was like Luke Thomas or Brian Campbell, or could have been the fighter and the kid, Brendan Schaub. One of those guys was saying that they were surprised that Colby was able to like piece up Kamaru Usman as much as he was able to. And that Colby's striking is significantly less than Masvidal's. So, with that being said, it's like I could see Masvidal, and then we know Masvidal has he was practicing that flying knee just before the fight with Askren, and then he comes out and just boom, 5 seconds or whatever. And so I feel you cannot discount Masvidal, man. It's like, he is dangerous. But also, man, Kamaru Usman, he can wrestle you. He can play that striking game a little bit. He's very well-rounded as well, and he's really tough. And you could, that Colby fight showed that. It showed that he had a heart of a champion. You know what I mean? Even though there was some controversy with that fight, and I do agree with Colby. Like there was some things where, that was called a fake eye poke, whatever. Like there was a couple things that were very questionable that were called, where he didn't get kicked in the groin or whatever. Like there was a couple of questionable things. I'd have to rewatch it again, but I remember watching. I was like, "What? Like what they caught? What?" There was just a couple of things, um, and I know Colby's upset with it as well. I used to like really not like Colby Covington, but once I realized it was more, excuse me, of a character than like him as an actual person. I thought that was funny, man. Like that's great. That's just business marketing, trying to like make yourself a brand and a business, and get yourself as much money as possible and capitalize off of that, and make the people invested in you, whether they love you or hate you. And I'm sure he's leans into those politics, and I'm sure he really does support Trump and that family and all of that. But I definitely have come around to, like, I've come around to like a lot of fighters or things that I used to dislike at first. I'm like, sometimes people just rub you the wrong way, and that's fine. But to judge someone off the bat because you're hearing what other people say, I remember a couple years back, like I didn't really know who Colby really was. But just then all of a sudden hearing, oh, Colby sucks, fuck Colby, all this stuff. And it was like, oh, yeah, fuck that. And then actually like listening to a couple of his interviews and stuff, I would just laugh, man. I'd be cracking up. And, he is very talented as well. So you can't take that from him either. So it's just, I've definitely come kind of around on him as a, well, I don't know him as a person, you know what I mean, but just my initial reaction and thoughts on who he was has definitely changed. It's definitely, you hear that he's such a good guy and like helping people and doing stuff for like charity, whatever it is. Like I've heard that he's done like really good things, so it's just not talked about, and he doesn't make a scene about it. I think other people bring it up instead of him, you know what I mean? So it's cool, it's interesting for sure. But yeah, man, UFC tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. I hope that job goes pretty smooth, pretty quick, so I can just get home and just kind of watch the fights and just kind of chill, get some food, and just enjoy the evening like that. Um, this was another thing that I wanted to talk about. So we'll switch these two things around. The MLB has 66 positive COVID cases, and a couple of them are on the Padres. And this number, the more time goes by, I just believe is going to keep going up. And I just feel they're going to eventually pull the season, unfortunately. That's my prediction. That just seems pretty high, and people have already, been stepping out and not choosing not to play this season just for safety purposes and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if that number continues to go up and then they eventually pull the shortened season. And that would be a bummer. I mean, I hope not. I mean, I really want baseball. I love baseball. I look forward to it, but with those numbers coming in, and I believe that they'll just continue to grow, I just kind of worry about that. So we'll see, though. Definitely gonna keep my eye on that. And then I also wanted to say, like, man, there's been so much news that I'm reading, like, cases rising, so many more cases, and oh, like, all of a sudden it went from deaths that were like we were reporting to cases. And it's like there's obviously going to be more cases because more people are able to get tested now. Like it's more accessible to get tested, and you know what I mean? So of course there's going to be more cases. So I don't understand why they're making that such a big deal, but not reporting that the death count and the death percentage just continues to just drop. It's just a really low percentage rating, and I'm just hearing things that it's like we shouldn't be shut down for what's going on, and then yet there's still just this stronghold of people who are ignoring some of these officials, like some of these people who are saying like it's not even an epidemic or a pandemic due to the numbers. Some of these high level people are being completely ignored, and these governors are just continuing with these lockdowns and shutdowns, and it's pretty insane. It really is. I don't get it. It's like the death rate is just so low and so minuscule from my understanding, and like I said, we're not going to really be able to see if there's been a significant change in deaths like overall in a yearly rate until like a few years pass. You know what I mean? Like we have to wait for the data to come in and be able to look at things from a, overview of a whole situation and not just focus on the right now, because but even on the right now it doesn't even seem like the death count is that much. People die every day, which is unfortunate, don't get me wrong, and like that's why I say all lives matter, because you know death doesn't discriminate and it happens to everybody, and that's just reality, and we never know when our final breath is going to be, but people die every single day, and people have underlying conditions, people don't take care of their health, and if you get sick, that whole like all of that will kind of come into play, you know what I mean? So the more healthy you are, the more aware you are of your health and conscious, like the better you'll be overall when it comes to things. Of course, you can have the, accident or get hit by a bus or struck by lightning. You know what I mean? Of course, things can happen, but you got to take calculated risk. And, we never know when we're going to take our final breath, And that's just what it is. So, again, I don't know if there's been an abnormal amount of deaths in this span. I just think we're going to have to like look back on it in a year or two and really see the numbers and really see if there was a spike or anything like that. In my honest opinion, I don't think there will be. But that's just my opinion, and what do I know? Not much. But I try to learn, and I try to just continue to expand my mind and just take in information as much as I can. But since it is 7:10, I feel like I should take one more little dab, and then I will get on out of here. Have that lemon cherry gelato again. So we'll get into that, and then I will get out of here. I gotta do some research and take some notes and stuff. So that's what I gotta do. That's what I'm gonna be doing after this. Just gotta heat this up. and then let it cool. Oh, go check out Twitch. And my username is cult_of_gaming. Try and live stream there like a few times a week, 4 or 5 times a week, we'll see. And try and hit up YouTube live stream for the gaming, Call of Duty Warzone, for both of those, Twitch and the YouTube. Yeah, try and do that. We're still not good at Call of Duty, but it's still fun. It's stressful. It's fun. It's cool. But yeah, go check that out. If you want to add me on Call of Duty, it's the gamer tag is cult_of_games420. So add me there. And yeah. It's just fun. I'm really not good at the game, but I enjoy it. I got 5th place yesterday. That was cool. Still haven't won, but 5th is like the closest I've been so far. I think I've gotten 2 5th place now. And before that, I got 6th. That was my highest or whatever. One of these days I'll get the victory. One of these days. Gotta get better. It's difficult, man. I don't understand how people are so good. They just like can snipe and just boom, shoot, like target, zero in on someone so quick, and I have to I struggle with it. I don't get it. It's crazy. But it's a fun game. It really is. Cheers, everybody. Ooh. Oh man, that was a good one. A little hot again, or this one's just more harsh. I don't know. I can't tell. It's good though, man. Good stuff. Well, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do some research, take some notes, and get ready for Zach to come by and do an episode. So that's what's going on. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Again, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Thank you for everybody who does watch and listen. It seems... Excuse me. Not too many people watch, but seems like as more time goes by, whoever is listening and watching watches longer now. So I can just tell by the analytics, people are getting through more of the videos. So that's pretty cool. And hopefully it just keeps growing and keeps going. So shout out everybody who watches and listens. Again, it would really help us as a channel, as the brand and everything, if you subscribe and share the videos, man. That's really what we can ask for, is just share all over. And yeah, thank you, everybody. Until next time. Peace.